So let's go to the psychologist now. Athena in New York, welcome to the show. Go ahead, please.
Michael, I just wanted to say that I think you're spot on with all of your observations and assessment of Mr. Obama. I have to say, as a psychologist, someone had called earlier, mentioned the narcissistic disorder. I think that's also very accurate. We have to keep in mind, Michael, that mental disorders do affect judgment. And clearly, this seems to be what's going on now with Mr. Obama. I think his behavior is oppositional. The fact that, number one, he is not going to Arlington this weekend, as you said.
Okay, let's focus on that with me. Your analysis of that would be very much appreciated.
Okay. I think part of it, the political part, I may not be privy to. I'm not an expert at politics, but I can tell you this. Think of a young child, issues of abandonment, issues of loss via any parental figure. In this case, it could be with Mr. Obama's father or with his mother. There's a certain sense of arrested development that happens. It could be early on. It could be during the adolescent years. So think of an adolescent when you say, come on, we're going to Aunt Tilly's house tonight. What does the adolescent say? I'm not going. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so part of this behavior is that oppositional behavior that you will see in a child who lives in an egocentric world. It's all about him or her. It's all about Johnny or Mary. And I think this is exactly what is going on with Mr. Obama. Clearly, I have said it from the get-go. I have believed it from the get-go, Michael. I have a father who will be 85 years old this Sunday. He is a World War II vet, Battle of the Bulge, under George S. Patton. And, in fact, I happen to be a Queens girl as well. I grew up in Flushing.
Sounds like you and I went to Queens. You sound like a friend of mine from undergraduate, but I won't go in. So keep going. Sorry.
Oh, no. So my father, who's been under the weather recently, I said to him, Dad, did you happen to hear what's going on this weekend? And he said, well, what is that? He said, it's Memorial Day, and all our wonderful men and women throughout the wars will be honored. And I said, but one important person won't be there. And he said, who's that? And I told him, and he said, this is a disgrace to this country. I'm upset now, he said, a tear's coming to my eye, and this is abominable. And, Michael, it is. And let me get another point that I mentioned to your screen.
Well, it is abominable, but why is he doing it is the question.
I think, again, as I said, he is functioning as if he is still an adolescent, okay? He missed out on stuff from Mom. He missed out on stuff from Dad. There's a sense of omnipotence. There's a sense of arrogance. There's a sense of entitlement. And when you feel all of that, and you perceive that in yourself, Michael, you feel that you rule the world.
Oh, my God. All right, so this can be very toxic to a nation to have a child president.
Yes, basically he is. He's a teenage president. The oppositional, I'm not going to Aunt Tilly. You can't make me do it. Okay, that egocentric world.
And also, the Republicans are wrong about everything. They're standing in my way. They're no good. I'm always good. I'm always right. They're always wrong.
You make an excellent point. Didn't you and I say that to our parents when they said, you can't go out to your friend's house? And I would say, oh, my parents are so stupid. They're wrong. They don't know what.
So, in other words, the people of themselves, the American people who oppose him, are also seen as his enemy, in essence, his opponent.
Absolutely.
He doesn't take any of his opposition in mind as being valid. So the whole Tea Party movement, in order for him to accept them, he would have to reject himself and the construct of himself. So he rejects them not for their policies, but they're all evil racists, or they're all evil, dumb militia members, in essence. Isn't that what you're saying as well?
Correct, because, and you just hit it on the head again, Michael, if he were to accept them, it would devalue his own self-confidence, which we know he doesn't have any, but it would devalue any sense of himself, as little as it may be at this point. So therefore, as you just eloquently said, he has to say no to everybody. I'm the king, I'm in charge, I'm in the middle of the room for the birthday party at age 7, at age 10, at age 16, and that's basically in a nutshell. And please, may I just add, I happen to...
Well, wait, hold on. But that's true about a lot of politicians, the narcissism. It's true about actors for sure. I don't know if you've had an active practice, but I would guess that anyone who treats performers would know that they all suffer from a similar personality. And that's certainly part of the human condition. Some of them are wonderful people and wonderful performers, but now we have such an individual as president. But having said that, he is certainly not the first narcissist stuck in such a dilemma, is he?
He's probably one of the more obvious ones, and I think one of the more dangerous ones.
Okay, why dangerous?
When one begins to feel such a great sense of omnipotence, when one feels such a great sense of arrogance, one starts to make stupid decisions. And stupid decisions when you're an actor doesn't affect me. I might not like your movies.
Exactly, that's exactly right. We laugh at them. When an actor gives an opinion on politics, we laugh at them, we mock them, we say, what do you expect from an actor? They don't have a writer and a director, so we hear who they are, and they're usually undeveloped people who went to the High School of Performing Art in Manhattan, and they wound up the same thing at 50 that they were at 20. So we don't take them seriously. But in essence, he's sort of like a kid who went to the High School of Performing Art and is now president.
I think so. I think you hit it on the head again. And can I add one more thing, Michael, please?
You know, I'm starting to get worried. I may call you up to be my therapist.
It would be my pleasure. I happen to be a huge dog lover, and I mentioned this to a colleague recently, and they said no one's ever mentioned it. Okay, he has, I might also mention, no one has mentioned that his grandmother had passed away, and he never attended her funeral.
Well, hold on. You know, you're bringing up something that people don't talk about because it's very, very dangerous to do. Do you remember when she was lingering in her last days, he went to Honolulu in the midst of a very busy season? He went there for one night and she mysteriously died and he flew back the next day. Do you remember that?
I certainly do.
Now, there were rumors on the internet, which I do not want to invest much time in, that this grandmother was probably chastising him about a number of things, and she was a threat to his campaign. Could that, well, you know, we could say, could that be possible? Of course it could be possible. But that's too horrible to even imagine, isn't it?
It's just a thought, again, an incident where he should have been present, okay, unless you don't love your grandmother, you're not that close to her, but this is a woman that raised him. It perplexed me.
Oh, wait, he flew over there when she was lingering. She died that night that he was at her bedside, right? And then what, he left and didn't stay for the funeral? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying. As I recall, that's how it went down.
All right.
And
well,
again,
somebody will write a book about this man who is an objective writer one day, and it won't be me, because that's not my forte. But what you said about him, the narcissist, the aggrandizement, insecure, applies to so many millions of people, does it not?
It applies to the man that runs the deli counter at Walbaum's, but he's not running my country, Michael.
All right, wait, I understand that, but we're not suggesting, though, that we're going to get a perfect man to run for office or a perfect woman. I would think that many of these negative attributes that we are applying to Obama could easily have been applied to George Bush as well. He was rather thin-skinned, incidentally. I think what we wind up with in America is an individual along these lines, and I'm not trying to backpedal on Obama, but I think that Bush had much better advisors who kept him in line and advised him better. Obama seems to be that adolescent child who's broken free of his advisors and is now acting out all on his own. That's the point.